G'day YouTube, my name's Lance. Welcome to Bundy Bear Shed. Well, the weather report, we're 14 to 27 and it's very foggy this morning. So that's a good sign. A little bit of fog around sometimes means a bit of moisture. So, well, look, we're all hoping anyway. Yesterday afternoon, well, I suppose this time of year, we're coming into spring on Wednesday, 1st of September. And look, it's probably a bit early for the storms normally. They seem to be a little bit later in the year. But yesterday afternoon, we had a bit of a crack and a rumble. And I was up the shed here, buggering around as normal. and we got a nice little shower through. So we thought, oh, that's nice. But it was short-lived and we ended up with 1.5 millimetres. So, but that would have given the trees a bit of a wash off and something like that. So this afternoon, I imagine I'll have to have the sprinkler running out under the trees and just give them a little bit of a water to keep them going. It's with the days getting warmer. Oh, the mango tree flowers and the macadamia nut flowers and all that. They're really looking like it's going to be a good season. So I'm trying to give a little bit more water than I normally would, hoping I don't run out from up the shed here. And so there we go. We've got a 5,000 gallon tank. I think it's 5,000 and something, 5,800 gallon or something, tank out the back of Bundy Bear shed here. And so I worked out it with the pump on the sprinkler just low to cover around the trees. To put 1,000 litres out takes me around 4 hours. So we're not using a great deal, but it still helps. But with the big trees, I crank it up a little bit and give them a bigger, try and wet the root base. So that's looking good over there. We're going okay. I don't know if I mentioned last week my pressure pump shit itself. And it was a new Onga pump, and a couple of weeks ago I took it in. It just stopped working out of the blue, and it was warm up in the corner. And so they were saying, oh, did you use a lead, this, that and the rest. And I've run other pumps on it and it never played up. So anyway, I took it in again for the second time, and there's a diode where the power comes in, and they melt. They just get hot and melt around there. So they've spoken to Onga about it, Onga, O-N-G-A, pumps about it, and seeing if there's a fix or something like that. But they have put a new top on the pump again, a new pressure sensing module on the top, and I've got it back home, but I haven't played with it. So what that got me into through the week is up on the bench here, you can still see I've got the mess here. I had an old Davy pump, an old yellow Davy, and I took it off the house because the pressure sensor on it, sometimes it would click out and other times it would keep running, and you'd come home from work and the pump would be and so I took it out of service, but just to keep the place going, I've plumbed that up in the corner over there now. And I had another old Onga pump, and it had quite a long body on it for good pressure, and it had a piece broken in it, and I went and bought a piece back 10 years ago for it, I suppose, and put it in. When I started it up, it rattled and something wasn't right, so I just bushed it and bought a new one. So I've been buggering around all week with these pumps. So I got the Onga up here, and I thought, well, these pumps sitting around, I'd tested the electricity, tested that they would spin, and the Onga one was just humming, and I thought, oh, I might have buggered bearings. So I pulled the end cap off, pulled all the pump apart, spun it without the impeller, quiet as a mouse. I thought, you beauty. At least, I get an electric motor that I could use for possibly a belt sander or some project. And so anyway, I thought I'd put all the impeller back on and just go gentle with it, and I put it all back and made sure it lined up and fiddle-farted around. Well, look, it seems to work like a beauty. So at the moment I've got 3 pumps up there, so I should be right. Shouldn't be bad, but I can't run the pump while I'm filming, or you get this constant in the background because it's in the same shed here. So that doesn't matter. Monday morning, and this is the first time we've been able to film in the shed this weekend. We've got some good friends in Brisbane, Dave and Jody, and they're on their way up to Bowen for a holiday. So they come and stayed Friday and Saturday evening. So Yeah, Friday I often come up and try and prep stuff for filming over the weekend, so that didn't happen. We just sat and drank beer. And Saturday, I said, yeah, what do you want to do? There's plenty in Bundy to do, and they've stayed with us quite a lot. And they said, no, we're just hanging with you fellas, just bug around. So, pardon me. So we're just having a lazy breakfast and all that. And my mate Paulie rolled in with his little Austin, so he rolled in and he said, oh, Rocket's coming to pick me up after lunch. So he said, I just want to fiddle around because Paulie's got a container here. And yeah, he said, Davey Rocket's coming to pick me up. So anyway, Dave and I filled the fridges in the car, put a fair bit of beer in them, and up we come. We had one rum can left, so we bullied Paulie into having that. So Saturday, look, it was a great day in the shed, good bit of fun. And Paul had this little Ronaldson Tippet. It's badged Alpha Larval, but it's a little Ronaldson Tippet 3 horsepower in one of his little hoochies out here. And he got that out and they're going to try and get that running. So they fiddled around with it, and he's got the carby in town he's bringing out today. But yeah, wound it over, and after all these years it's got a nice little spark on it and everything. So he's had a new fuel tank made like a few years ago. So we said, well, you know, why don't you bring the carby out, we'll bead blast it and get it all done and all that sort of thing. So they said, oh, well, we might come out Monday morning. And I said, no, don't come out Monday morning. How about Monday after lunch? So that's happening today. So I got to push along this morning and try and get a few things filmed this morning because yesterday, Sunday, visitors left late morning sort of thing. And yeah, we just have lazy cook up bacon and eggs breakfast and sit and have a chat and just have a nice time. Then I come up to the shed and I thought, oh, well, I'll get everything ready for filming, and I'll, might knock a few quick videos out, like putting the ring gear on our flywheel here and things like that. But my daughter rolls in, Dad, me windscreen washers aren't working on my car. So that's what we did. And so I pulled the headlight out, and it's a little Ford Fiesta, and she's never put any additive in the windscreen washers, where I usually put a little bit of proper windscreen additive, the soapy stuff. So, and it had a little algal build up in the pump. So we had to have the headlight out and the whole bloody bullshit thing out, and sorted that out, so got her going. Then it was lunchtime. So went up there and had a yarn to Jude for lunch and watched Landline, and I thought, oh, I better get up this shed and do some bloody thing. I've been just lazy all weekend. So, well, there was a bit of a storm building out the back. Well, Christ, this bloody shed creaking and banging, and there were sort of bits of cloud drawing into it, and well, it was just bloody noisy. And normally with my little sound cancelling microphone here and the setup up on top of the toolbox, I can dial most of that out, but no way could we do that yesterday. And I had the doors pegged, and I have to peg the doors every day. I've got wedges I jam in the doors so they don't sit there sound like thunder in the background. So yesterday afternoon, while we were buggering around there, we had no chance of doing a video then. So anyway, I just cleaned up a bit and just got the pumps over there organised and a few things like that. So Monday morning, and I got to get my finger out this morning, and I'm hoping to get the ring gear on the flywheel, get the clutch fitted and filmed. And that's about, look, I may even try and get the tractor together and film, but if the boys turn up after lunch, well, yeah, there'll be no filming then, we just won't have the time. So they'll be talking in the background, and they'll be trying to crank this little motor up and all that sort of thing. So through the week, Tony, one of our club members, Tony McGarry, he brought a farm all head out here, and we spent the afternoon. I dressed the valves up a little bit up in my lathe up the top there, and lent him the valve grinding gear, and he's gone home. He come into the shop to buy a VRS set for this little Farmall, might be a Farmall 100 or an AV, and so he's getting the head back on that, so he'll probably be out here this week sometime too, I'd imagine. And so, yeah, it was a busy week buggering about. I went and got my second COVID jab, so bloody, I don't seem to have any worries with the COVID jab, so. But I've had it now. Judy hasn't. She hasn't got round to organising it, and that's fine. So yeah, so now hopefully if I do get COVID, I won't die. That's the plan anyway, so we'll see. I'm hoping it just doesn't come into Bundy Bear's shed. The Westie that does the little caricatures of Bundy Bear's shed, yeah, he's done one of me on the TE20, he's done one on the Gold tractor, he's done one on the 135, I'm not sure I've shown you that, and yesterday he came up with the one on the John Deere 420. That'll be it until we get, like when we finish the 65, well, we'll do another one of the 65, So they're all basically the same, just different tractors underneath, so we're working out what to do with them. We've got t-shirts on the website, but they've slowed right down now. Whoever was buying a t-shirt's obviously bought one, and yeah, we haven't sold one in like a month, oh, probably 2 months now, so the t-shirt sales have died in the arse big time. We sold a couple of coolers, but that's about it. So the merchandise side of Bundy Bear's shed's just shit. We're just not doing any good with it. So I don't know whether we'll pull that down or what we'll do with it. There's no use paying for it when it's not working, so we'll just see what happens with all that. It's no big deal. We had, oh yeah, last weekend we hit 30,000, which was good. Yeah, so it just rattles along. I sort of kept a bit of an eye on it through the week to see, and we've put out a couple of popular videos just lately, so they're rating well. So that's a nice thing when you take the time to bug around with them. It's nice when they rate well, and if you can all like and comment and all that sort of stuff, that just helps at no end. The laser cutter I bought to do gaskets and things. Now, I rang Massey Ferguson, and on the injection pump drive, which is just over there where I'll be measuring up and that, the injection pump drive, bushes, thrusts, all that, none of it is available. Okay, now onto the laser. What did I do with the laser this last week? I didn't have a lot of time. At work there, yeah, you just have times where you got time to fiddle around, and other times you're just busy, and sometimes I actually edit some of the videos at work. I'll get in early, I'll do a bit of editing, and I've got, in my office I've got 2 desks. I've got one where I do my main business website stuff and all that sort of bullshit, and then I've got the laptop that I often have at home here, and I often do the editing on that. So I can get in of a morning, I can edit a video up, spend an hour or so doing that, and then I can set it going, rendering, and then upload it while I'm doing other work. So I do a bit of that at work, and yeah, but it's just a busy week last week, and last week I think we put out, was it 6 videos? So that takes time. You know, allow a couple of hours for each video probably, and so it was just a busy week. So I got into the laser engraver, and I thought, right, you better bloody keep practicing with this thing or you'll never get any good. And back years ago with the 23C injection pump drive housing, I found a bulletin, a Massey Ferguson bulletin, where they used to have a paper gasket where it bolted on, and they must have leaked a bit, and people had just nipped the bolts up and the gaskets would move. So Massey Ferguson said after a certain serial number, they put a steel shim in to maintain the backlash. So, you know, the shim won't crush where a soft gasket will, to maintain the backlash with a thin gasket each side, but you still had to check your backlash as it goes on. So I rang Massey Ferguson through the week and had a yarn to them, and none of this is available. The bush from the injection pump drive over there is not available. The shaft's not available. The only thing that was available was the one O-ring on the housing that goes out, and we have that here anyway. So I thought, well, a good thing to draw up would be the gasket for this injection pump drive. So I used this shim as a template, and I put that into my printer at work and scanned it, and you can scan to a USB stick. So I scanned it to a stick to bring it in as a JPEG file. I put it in my software, traced around, you know, did the trace bitmap thing, and come up with a gasket. Well, I had to tidy it up, no doubt. That's just how it works. And look, I think we're onto a good thing. That's okay. So we're going to try and, I'm thinking of putting a little selection out because they offer, Massey Ferguson offered a 6 thou, a 10 thou, and there was another one, I don't think it was 20, but there was another size shim. But, I mean, when you look at the gasket sets, and I have a Sparex gasket set for this engine at home here, but I forgot to pull it apart and have a look. But we had another Bearco gasket set, and they only put a gasket in. One gasket, I don't know how you adjust your backlash. So anyway, and look, Sparex is probably the same. And I don't know if it's different. I'll try and have a look today. I've got one up the end there in the pallet racking for this one of these Fergies, whichever one we do first, and I'll have a look. But most companies just put one gasket in, and they sort of expect you to sort it out somehow. So what I'm going to look at is I've got the shim here, which most people, I think, people will have that shim, and I'm going to fiddle around on our engines and adjust that back and forth and get a dial gauge in and check backlash and fiddle around. I'm going to try and make some 5 thou shims or something. Depends what gasket paper I can find. At the moment, I believe the smallest I've got in there at work is 0.25 of a mil, so that's 10 thousandths of an inch, 0.25 of a mil. And Massey Ferguson offered 6 thou, so I don't know how we'll go with that. Yeah, look, we'll just have to see, but we are set up this morning. I've been playing with bolts. If you remember when I pulled the clutch off the T20, we had one dicky bolt, and I've got bolts 3/4 and I've got bolts 1 inch, and I've just been doing test runs with the bolt size to make sure they're not bottoming out. So the 1 inch one with this pressure plate and the thick, where are we here? And the thick spring washer, it's fine. I've checked it all out, and yeah, I'm happy with that. So that's good. We've just done the dummy run there with that, so that'll be okay. Hopefully today I can get it all sorted. Just hang on. I told someone I'd count something, and I haven't done it. So on your, on your 12 volt starter, so some starters, and not all of them, but some of them had 10 tooth, and then the aftermarket has 9, which gives a bit of a rattle. And someone said, could I count them? So I will now. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this Sparex starter, it's a Pressolite brand, and it's got 9 teeth. And as you know, it started our tractor perfectly. I have had people come in and we had a little Triumph one time with a 10 tooth one, but the pinion was quite a bit bigger. But this seems to run on it okay, and I can actually see the gear mark. You can just see where it run on there, and look, it's running in the centre of the tooth. It looks good. So yeah, for the fellow that was asking me, and I said I'd count, it is a 9 tooth, and I don't even know where I'd lay my hand on the old starter motor nowadays. I've probably chucked it. So I don't know whether it was a 9 or a 10 to start with. I may have a look around. I've got a scrap bin outside there that I've been chucking all my rubbish in. So I'll have a look there and just see. But so this week we're going to do a short stew. There's probably not an awful lot in it. I had a rep roll in the other day about oil. The LSA man, the LSA, the fellow that owns LSA in West Australia, he's bought the Synforce oil out. He's bought 3 or 4 oil companies recently, this bloke, and they're going through a lot of changes. Michael, the sales rep, he got the big Australian-wide sales rep, he got the local Hervey Bay Synforce rep. Now they're all together to come and have a yarn and what did we want and what's it all about and all that. So we had a yarn with him and had a yarn for an hour or so about what the channel was doing, what we were looking at and things like that. And no answer. He said, oh well, he said, I just got to go back to me boss and telling me about it. So we have no idea what we're doing with that, whether they'll take it on or whether they won't. Sings, which is our local Massey Ferguson dealer, talking to Josh there, and he watches it, and he says, he says, I'll talk to me boss in here and see if they want to come on board with that. So he said, what would you like? They're Valvoline and Agco. And I said, well, Agco's like Massey Ferguson or worldwide. It's a bit dearer, but perhaps what I do, that might go in better. So we don't know. We've made no decisions. We've had no real offers apart from the Great Western, Gulf Western, and the rep, that wasn't a proper offer. He was just testing the water. So, but we don't sell that. So anyway, we'll see. So we don't know how that's going. The sign can stay there for the moment. If they pull the pin on it, you'll know because the sign will be gone. and we'll see how we go with all that. So there's a tractor trek coming up for our club, just a little one. And one of the club members, Jonesy, he has a old farts and engines day or something he calls it, at his place at Avondale. So they're looking at doing a tractor trek and to it. And like Avondale's about 35 kilometres north of Bundaberg, and it's a camp overnight thing. And we're thinking of going. We're not sure how we just got to check what family's doing and all that. See if we're on childminding duties or anything like that. And so we're thinking of going up, and I was thinking of taking an engine, but then they're saying, oh, well, you know, you've got to have a registered tractor, but, you know, take a tractor up. They want tractors up there. And I said, oh, okay, but I don't want to take Goldie at the moment, because once this is out of here, probably the next job will be Goldie, because with Goldie at the moment, Goldie's water pump's starting to get noisy. Not bad. You know, look, good enough around the farm here, but not good enough to go on a run. And I notice sometimes when you pull up and you take your foot off the clutch, you can hear the throw-out run on a little bit, and it's rattly. So the throw-outs, look, it's not buggered, it's just getting noisy. I thought, well, it's just silly to put it out in the road and leave yourself open. So later on, once we get this done, we might just bring Goldie up into the bay and just do a quick split, pop a clutch and throw out bearing. Probably just a clutch plate even. Throw out bearing in, we'll pop a new water pump on, change the coolant, and Goldie will be back ready to rock and roll, because Goldie's fully registered. If we do end up doing this tractor trek, I've got to get 135 registered. I've been putting that off. I still got to finish wiring the lights a little bit, but apart from that, the whole job's done. But yeah, but then I got to register it and all that sort of thing just for one weekend. So I'm not sure if I'll do that, or if we'll go on a tractor run, or whether I'll just we might just chuck a little engine in the back. I've got some nice little engines, so who knows? We'll see. Yeah, no promises either way. So we've got to have a look at that yet. I suppose the wiring had only taken half a day to finish the whole thing and get it out of the way, but then we're in the middle of this job here, and while we're doing this, in the past I've often had bloody 27 jobs on the go, so at the moment I'm just trying to stick with this little T20 for a bit, and in the background I'm doing the 23C stuff, and I may even get to this weekend and pop that cylinder head apart. Remember we had a high valve, and I just want to have a look at the seat for that, so we'll just see. So look, that's about it. I'm a bit keen to pop this ring gear on and have a bit of a chat about that. And I've got the oxy all set up here, the oxy is settled in. I've got the new ring gear sitting on the press there, the Sparix ring gear. I've got that through the week. I've got the Sparix pilot bearing there to go into the flywheel, and I probably just need to clean up the bolts to bolt the flywheel on. And yeah, I could hop into this. So I'll start flapping my gums. Thanks for dropping by, everybody. Please like, subscribe, watch a few ads. That's how, on YouTube, that's how a channel makes money. If you can spare 15 seconds or more of your time to watch an ad instead of just dumping it, that's how we get a little bit of revenue in, and we can buy like our engine stand we bought the other day, things like that. So that's how we make a few bob. Looks like merchandise isn't the way to go, so we might can that. Well, thanks again. Thanks for dropping by. Have a good week, everyone. Stay safe. Keep out of that bloody COVID bullshit. I'll catch you next week, all being well.